think.
You ready?
No, wait. I'm going to make sure this is good first.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Why do we look like we're cut off from this thing?
I don't know.
What's up, everybody?
Hi. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. How's it going?
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to the Chris and Bec Show.
The Chris and Bec Show. We're back at it again.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday at 10 a.m.
That's right.
Is the Chris and Bec Show. So I hope everybody's doing good this morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready to rock and roll. How about you?
Oh, I'm ready to rock and roll too as well. Just been pushing along, you know, recovering from the knee.
Yeah.
The fall
How's that
had.
coming along?
It's coming along,
Good.
slowly but surely.
You gonna get back on the bike?
I don't know.
I don't know about that, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, how the knee goes and
Well,
stuff.
I can tell you. So I have one of those. It's like a skateboard with a handlebar, a scooter.
Oh, what are the things
It's called a
called?
razor.
Yeah.
It's really fast.
Oh.
And I rode a skateboard when I was a kid, and so I'm thinking, it's got a handlebar. It's cheating. I can do that.
Yeah.
So I get on there, and of course I can. It's a blast. But when I forgot, when I was back in my skateboarding days, he said, if you hit a pebble, you're going to go flying. And that happened. And I just went over the little handlebars and into somebody's lawn. I did a little roll, and I was like, oh, that must have been hilarious. They must have been like, oh my gosh, maybe we should call 911.
Oh my
She's all right.
goodness.
But I just rolled it and bounced right back up. Like, oh, that was
That's
right.
awesome.
But if I hit the pavement,
Right.
that would have been a different story.
That would, because some road rats be hurting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure my bones can take that kind of a crash anymore.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sports are fun. So
Yeah. So, Bec,
Yeah.
did you see? Hey, guess what, folks? We finally got the Chris and Bec mugs,
Yeah.
coffee cups.
Aren't they awesome?
But now it's available to you guys. It's on our website under encompasses.com.
Yep. I saw it there this morning.
You could get your own
Yeah.
coffee cups like us and chill out with us every morning. You get your own cup.
Yeah. Get your breakfast, your coffee, or your hot chocolate.
But the unique thing about it is that we're also going to sign every single cup that goes out.
Yeah, it's appreciation.
So all that's going to go out to you guys. I'm excited about that.
I am too. That's
and then what I want to do is like put a number 1, then a number 2, number 3.
Oh, that would be cool.
It would be like who has the first initial
Bragging
one.
rights.
Wait a minute, we got to have number 1, number 2. Who's going to have the number 3rd?
Well, if we arm wrestle, you'll win. So I won't even go there.
Right. So it's up on our website under impactwaterllc.com. Get your very own Chris and Bec coffee cup. Yeah. So awesome. These are pretty cool.
Black interior.
Yeah. These are pretty cool.
Color.
Yeah.
So
what'd you make today?
So this one is just milk chocolate with Italian sweet cream.
Italian sweet cream. Where do you be finding this stuff?
I don't know. Secrets. It's a coffee drinker. It's because you're hot chocolate. I'm coffee.
Oh, okay.
So it's all things coffee for me.
Okay.
So I just put a coffee creamer in your.
Oh, I see. But it tastes good.
Good.
It's real fancy.
I was gonna
Italian cream.
Italian sweet cream.
Okay. Yep. You fancy.
I like it fancy. So yeah, I wanted to say that, so for those of you, so when you're looking for the show, just be sure to go to the Impact Water YouTube site, and that's where you'll find us. And so we include that link for you when we talk about it. And so you should be able to click in more easily. Chris has fixed us up I
Right.
think so. It won't be quite a convoluted path as it has
Right.
been. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's
If you,
been an interesting
well,
journey,
we're
but
learning,
yeah,
and so
yeah,
it's okay. But I really appreciate you guys' patience and also letting us know that there are some technical glitches that we can correct.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's really great. I appreciate the
Absolutely. Yeah,
input.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
That's how we'll
So,
get better.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. So last week we were talking about a pretty cool subject about love
Yeah,
and what that landscape of love looks like in today's environment.
yeah.
Yep,
We went real deep into the love talk
we did.
last week. If you guys missed it, check us out on YouTube. Um, YouTube backslash Impact Water LLC
Hi, Erica.
5353. Erica in the house. Hey, Erica.
How's it going?
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we're talking. Yeah,
So that subject, love, is a very strong piece.
it is.
And one thing about love, it covers so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So much different nationality, different group, different ethnic groups.
Yes.
That love piece, I think everybody can relate to it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In their own way, their own spectrum, their own, So
Right.
yeah,
And yeah, it doesn't have to, we're not even just talking about, well, partly we're talking about, couple love, right?
right,
But we're also talking about just the love in general for
right,
people
yeah,
and the planet and everything you interact with. And
right,
just a general
absolutely,
love in your heart when you
yeah,
approach your day. It's just
absolutely,
really great,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
So this week, though, we thought maybe we'd shift a little bit and talk about, go back to the relationship piece and kind of talk about some of the things that, well, what are some of the issues that, doctors are currently saying, psychologists and so forth, and just statistics are showing in relationships. What are some of the
okay,
problems and what can we do to fix it?
yeah,
I mean, more importantly, that's the key, right? Is, we know these exist, but what can we do to fix it?
true.
So awareness is the first thing, right?
Awareness, okay,
Awareness. And so, remember last week when we were talking, and I said, "Hey, well, this is an issue to me," and you go, "Well, it's not an issue to me."
okay,
Well, if we were a couple, we
okay.
share that burden. It becomes both an
Right.
issue, right?
So, okay, so you're saying pretty much we need to, before you become a couple, you really need to dive in to see what is your take on different subject matters.
Kind of. I
Kind
mean,
of.
you want to be, people evolve as time goes by,
That's
obviously, in the
true. That's
relationships
true.
and everything else.
True.
But, you do those core beliefs, though. Those
Okay.
core beliefs.
Yeah.
That's what you're building your house on.
Yeah.
And if your foundation isn't there, your house is going to crumble.
Say that again. Yeah.
Right?
So the foundation has to be put in place. You can't be like, oh, googie eye over somebody and not really get to know where they're trying to take you or what they're trying to do.
What are they all about? What do
Yeah,
they
yeah.
stand for? What do
Right.
they feel in their heart about different things?
Yeah.
And
True.
then fully discover those things about each other. And then you can share the other parts of life after that. You've got a good foundation for your house, for your relationship.
That's true. That's
Now,
true.
people change over time, so that doesn't mean it has to be
Yeah.
a deal breaker.
Right. People do change. People do evolve. Yeah, I know when I was my first marriage, I went from I was like a little selfish, not in I want to give you a piece of bread, but it's like my time. I was more of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So my mindset was like driven, and so anytime you're trying to build a business, it takes it's like a second wife in a sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I had to learn through the years, we went through that marriage, but I had to learn to I had to scale back, and when you're young, you're moving, you're not thinking like that,
Right.
So there's a lot. I learned a lot in my first marriage, and I thank God that made it through. I thank God for my daughter out of that first marriage as well. So absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So you can evolve,
Mhm.
and as you're evolving as a couple, your interests might be changing,
Yeah.
and so, but I think if you could sit down and talk about it, let's talk about it, come
Yes.
have a great communication, then
Yeah.
that'll help make sure you're both on the same
Yeah.
page
Yep.
again, you know,
Yep.
because we're human, we're always involved, you
Yeah.
know. So
And so similar to yours, so I'm an entrepreneur as well,
okay,
but so in my first marriage, where
uh-huh,
our roads sort of went apart was he had his career and I was working on mine,
okay,
and then I got my degree, and then now I've got science friends, and he's got his friends in his group, and so forth, and not that we didn't blend, but we just didn't blend.
it's just thing.
And
So
we
the
didn't
the
blend.
dialogue or conversation was like, woo woo, you know, two different.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's
And
interesting.
so,
And what was your major in?
biology.
Biology.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was pre-med in college with intentions to go to medical school.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's where the science background kicked
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to go to medical
Okay.
school. But at the end of the day, I did a little self-awareness, a little self-evaluation, and decided, yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not
Right.
quite cut out for
Yeah.
that. And luckily for me, I got, started my plant science career instead.
Okay.
So that was
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
But, over time, we just kind
Yeah.
of went this way.
Yeah.
And then by the time we sort of really thinking about fixing it, it was kind of too late.
Mm.
Too much time had passed.
Pass.
We were too different.
Gotcha.
And recognized that though, and could make the break and change.
Change.
And luckily enough, he's remarried, I'm remarried,
Okay.
both happily married,
Okay.
and we're friends. So
Okay. So, oh, so you still friends with your ex?
yeah, and I'm really
Okay.
good friends with his
Okay.
wife actually. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. That's
And vice versa. Actually,
yeah.
we've gone to see them, and we spent about 5 days
Okay.
at their house.
Okay. So that is a form of maturity of love.
Correct.
You know what I'm
get
saying?
past all of
To
the
able
nonsense,
to
yeah.
get past, recognize where you're at, but still have the aptitude to go, hey, let's just be friends. It
Yeah.
didn't work out. Let's just be friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think what we both learned though is that complacency will never win at the end of the day. You have to relationships take effort, bottom
Yeah,
line,
so-
and it needs to come from both
Right,
sides,
yeah.
not just one.
Yeah.
And so anyway, keep it real
Yeah.
and keep it live.
Yeah, because
You know?
my current wife now, she's like, look, we're going on dates. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a mandate, and you got to make it. You got to put the energy back
Yeah,
in, right?
yeah.
To keep, because it's easily to be busy,
Yeah.
and not find time for each other. So
Right.
you have to have, at least with her, it's like we got to have a 1 day a week to have our time, right?
Yeah.
No kids, nothing, no little dogs running around, just us,
Just us.
right? And that's the premium of that
That's
love.
actually one of the key things that I found
Okay.
in what I wanted to share today.
Okay,
is that
let's hear it.
finding that work-life balance,
Yeah.
because I understand where you're coming from completely, because prior to being a scientist, and even as a scientist, I consider myself an entrepreneur.
Okay.
A lot of my work in science was entrepreneurial. That's
Mhm.
why I had trade secrets. I didn't
Okay.
have patents and those things. I had things that were secret to my company
Mm.
because of those developments. So
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur no matter what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
And when you're like that, you're like a dog over a piece of bone that you're gonna gnaw on until there's nothing left. And so, but when do you call it quits? Meanwhile your partner is like, "Hi, remember me?
Right, yeah.
I'm back here,"
Right.
but you're still alive, on
Yeah.
the bone.
Because you was telling me like you get up 3 or 4 in the morning and go to work, right? And so
If my work dictated that I need to go back to my lab at
Yeah.
1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, change out samples on one of my machines, that's
Right.
exactly what I do. I'd set my alarm and go to
go
work.
to work. And
Yeah.
so even though your spouse might be like, it's okay, I understand, but I think deep down, over years or time, that would add up, So yeah, and then and a lot of times we get blindsided and are driven for what we want to do and not really take time to consider how the other person is feeling.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
and it's a learning tool.
It really is.
Every day is,
It really
is
is.
is definitely a learning tool.
Engagement.
Yeah, and that's where the proper communication comes in.
Wanted to say good morning to Pastor Karen too. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Pastor Karen.
Nice to have you with us today.
Yeah.
Any comments that you guys would like to make? We'd
Yeah.
love to discuss that. If you want us to bring forth something that you would like to say, drop it in the messages, okay?
Yeah,
And we'll address
absolutely.
that.
All right,
Okay,
what you
so
gonna
anyway,
say?
finding that work-life balance, we were just talking about
Right.
that. Take time to play.
Okay.
You know, like when we were kids, nobody had to tell us to go play and have fun. We just, that's
Absolutely.
all we thought
Yeah,
about,
right.
right?
You get. I remember back in kids' time, we get the whole neighborhood kids, everybody group up together to go play. You know,
Till
either
your
right.
mom made you come in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're saying now as adults, we need to find time to go play.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you have something in common, like my husband and I, we like to kayak.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I mean, but we like to rock hound. We've talked about that.
Right.
I mean, just find something. You're not going to find everything in common, but those things that you
Right.
do, just take time to play.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's your kids, playing games with your kids.
Yeah.
Like when my daughter was really young, we played games with her. Like we'd play Scrabble.
Okay.
She's too young to spell, but she knew her ABCs.
She knew what's
And
up.
so I would
Yeah.
tell her, these are the rules. You have to do this and that.
Yeah.
You can spell whatever you want.
Right.
It can be a mumbo jumbo word. It doesn't matter. But you have to have a meaning for your word, and you have to be able to pronounce it.
Got you.
So just rules of engagement. Just have fun.
Have fun with it.
I can remember my folks sitting on the kitchen floor playing jacks.
Oh, I remember Jax.
Remember
Do
Jax?
you guys remember Jax?
Remember Jax?
The Jax was hilarious.
Jax was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
And my
Jax, yeah.
parents, my mom, my dad, and all three of us kids on the kitchen floor, we played Jax.
Playing Jax.
Yep,
I remember
yep.
Jax. And back in we also played marbles.
Oh,
You
yep.
remember marbles?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you fling it and, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
marbles was cool.
Hot wheel races.
Hot wheel races.
I still have Hot Wheels.
You still got Hot Wheels?
Track and everything.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Take time to play.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got?
So, no guilt recharge time.
What's that mean?
That means if I'm tired, y'all. I'm going to go lay down for a minute. I'm going to
Okay.
take a break. I'm going to
Okay.
walk around the block. Go sit in the park.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we just need to take a break.
Take a break.
So just walk, you know, just rest.
Okay.
Recharge a little bit. What if you're having an emotional moment?
Okay.
You know, you don't want to, especially if it's one that's got you kind of worked up and angry,
Mhm.
you don't necessarily want to take that out on your loved ones.
No, you don't.
But sometimes it's hard to.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So sometimes, like if you're on a schedule, you got kids, you're working, and if your loved one comes in to say something, you just
like,
you fire right at
Yeah.
them. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so what was that? What do you call it again? Take
No guilt recharge time.
no guilt recharge. So basically, yeah, so I agree with that. So if you're already feeling on edge with everything,
Yeah.
I think it's the wise thing to do is like, okay, let's put everything on hold. Let me go take a walk. Let me go sit down. Let me go take a nap to recharge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you recharge, your mental state is more focused in,
Yes.
right? So now when your loved one comes in, you're not ready to snap
You're
at
not
them,
ready
right?
to go on the
I like
attack.
that, Beck.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, because how many times have you been on the receiving end of that?
Right,
You're like, hey,
yeah.
hey, hey.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
You know?
That's a good one.
So, okay, so no guilt recharge time.
I like that.
And then this one's really, really good, and we've talked about this, but exercise.
Okay.
Pick whatever you want to do, but just make sure it's exercise. Get your heart rate up a little bit. Don't feel like you got to
Right.
get, you know, all
Yeah.
out, you know, cardio,
Yeah.
whatever. But anything exercise related
Exercise
is
is
so
good.
good for you.
Yeah. And I think it stimulates the mind, refocus you. I know the difference when I do exercise and I don't exercise.
Correct. Yep.
And I do believe that it does send, it's supposed to send endorphins?
Endorphins, yeah.
Yeah, so
those feel good.
feel
hormones,
good. So
yeah.
I think exercising need to be a part of your daily life.
Yeah.
You know, get the blood flowing, get everything, your joints moving.
Mhm.
It just gives you a fresh aspect. Right?
Yeah.
To me, it does.
And when you get up in the morning, okay, when you were a kid, like when you got up in the morning, just kind of walk me through. Like, just think back for a second when you were like about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old. And it's time to get up out
You
of
asking
bed.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't remember.
Just back when you were a kid. Oh, I gotta get up. You don't remember?
No.
I can
You know, it's so funny. Like my wife, she can remember like 2 years, 3 years old. I can't remember stuff.
I can remember my third year birthday cake.
I can't. Yeah, I
My
don't know how
mom
you
made it
guys
out
are.
of moon pies.
Moon pies.
Moon pies. She stacked them on top. How could you forget that?
And then put a candle on it.
Mm-hmm. Because I love moon pies. So that was my cake.
That's cute. I want to try that one day.
Oh, for real.
Stacking up
I
moon
couldn't
pie.
believe it. It was a stack of moon pies, all for me.
Did she, wait a minute, did she put like glaze over
Nope.
it? Just moon pie.
Just moon pies. And they were all for me.
It's all good.
I don't
It's
think
all
I ate
good.
them all, though. I think we took the candle off. Deal
Right.
them out like cards here.
Okay. That's hilarious. But that's cute.
Anyway.
But yeah, it's amazing how you guys can remember such a young age, you know.
Yeah.
So that's
Where I
pretty-
was going with that was, it's like when you get up in the morning, I remember, you know, not wanting to get up out of bed. My mom's like with a pot, clang, clang, clang. She would, not really, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But she was all about us getting up and getting on with the day. At least by 9 a.m. we had to be out of bed.
By 9 a.m.
By 9 a.m.
Wouldn't you tell that to these young people now?
Right.
By 9 a.m. you need to be out of bed, bed made. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Right.
Get up, get that bed made. I got
get
chores
going.
for you today.
Right.
Right.
You
I'm
can't
waiting.
tell these kids
Stop,
that
stop.
now. No.
What are you talking about?
What are you
Close the
talking
door.
about? Right.
Yeah. My daughter was visiting recently, and I was making coffee and doing the dishes and whatever, and she comes downstairs, and it's like 10:20 or something in the morning, and she goes, and I had my music on, and so I'm like, doing my thing. She comes down and she goes, "You make a lot of racket when you're doing all that, and you've got your earbuds on." I go, "It's 10:20 in the morning.
Right.
I got stuff to do."
Right. Yeah, but you know what? You can't beat my mom on this one.
But she did.
When I go back to visit her and I spend the night at her house, and I love going back in my room that I was raised in, you know.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Why she be up 4:30 in the morning vacuuming?
Well, okay.
I'm like, hold up,
Hey.
time out.
What?
And she be vacuuming, cleaning the house 4:30 in the morning. I'm
Hey,
like,
you told me your mom's a nurse.
she is.
Does she report in at 7 o'clock?
No, she does night shift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what.
Yeah, she does night shift. But yeah, and I was like, I'm dreaming. I'm just dreaming. And next thing I hear,
Clang, clang.
I'm like, what in the world is going on out here? And then she turns on the bright lights and the whole house bright up. 4:30 in the morning. But one thing I do appreciate her, she is a praying woman.
Yeah.
So she be up 4:35 praying, you know.
Yeah.
So that I do respect her for
Gets
that.
that done.
Yeah.
Gets her.
But, yeah.
And then she's on about the chores.
Yeah, she
got
be
TikTok, got stuff to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know,
Excuse
it's
me.
and we're today's subject we're talking about the action of love.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about love, but now we're talking about the action part of it. So
Wanted to say hello to the other people that are tuning in. We've got Bond. Hi, how you doing?
what's up, Vaughn?
Yeah, and Tracy.
What's
Welcome.
up, Tracy?
Thank you so much for watching, you
Yeah.
guys. If you have questions or you want to add to the conversation, just drop it in the
Comment.
comments.
All
and
right.
We'll talk about it.
All
So
right.
where I was going with that was, so I remember when I was a kid and getting up, and Mom, you know, when I'd get up, you know, it's like, okay. You know, you swing over the side of the bed and you stretch. You stretch, and that feels so good.
Right, yeah.
When's the last time you did that before your feet hit the floor?
That's a good point.
Take a minute.
Take a
You
minute
guys,
to
when you first sit up on the edge of your bed, if you'll just,
just stretch.
unbelievable. It feels so good. Do it. Trust me.
Okay.
When I was working, I was our safety coordinator as well as our chemical hygiene officer. And that's the one thing I talked about all the time. Stretch. First thing in the morning. Just get all the creaks out.
Yeah.
So take time to exercise and stretch.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right. So also stretch your brain.
Stretch your brain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Learn something new.
Learn something new. So you're saying either audio tape, read a book, something like that?
Well, what if you and your spouse took up a sport together, such as, what's that new? It's like
Pickleball.
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 What if y'all
Pickleball.
started playing pickleball?
Yeah.
Or you played badminton, or
Badminton.
things that you can do in your house, play croquet or
Yeah.
games, dominoes, learn
Yeah.
a new card game together.
Okay. So
Anything that
something new.
yeah, something new that you
So
can
you
explore
know what
together.
just came to me is like when you join together to become husband and wife. Like you might have stuff over here that you're bringing in that you built up, and then you have stuff over here you built up, and
Right.
you join together. Now you're building together. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing as creating new hobbies together.
Yeah.
So find time to create new hobbies that is yours. You're personal. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you can share together,
Yeah.
enjoy that, and that can be part of your date night.
Yeah,
It could be
absolutely.
anything like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Okay, so
Oh,
especially,
I also on date night,
yeah,
don't be like, don't be the guy that, oh no, I want to go this way, I want to do that, I want to do that. It's team, so you got to find out what she wants, you got to find out what he wants, and take turns, go to different places that you guys desire, and learn about those uniqueness that other your partner likes,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Sneak back into your house while they're at work, and set up a romantic dinner right there in your living room on the floor,
Becky, that's a great idea.
and
Uh,
usher those kids out.
yeah,
Y'all got to go somewhere
you
else
gotta
tonight.
go. Yeah,
Tonight,
right.
we got this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you
So
know,
little things like that, flowers, all that little gesture
yeah.
of action of love goes a long way.
It does. It shows that
Yeah.
you still care, that you're still plugged in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
love it.
definitely recommend that.
Volunteer together to do something.
That's something I always wanted to do, and a lot of times my other local church, they usually have like Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like
Oh, I
that.
love
So
that. Yeah.
volunteering together. I know for a fact that Tracy here online, she does mission trips sometimes. I believe so. That's what she told me
That's
a long time
awesome.
ago. So doing mission trips
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
volunteer, feeding the homeless, all those things plays a role, in
Well,
grouping your love together.
it really, really does. I mean, like there's this local zoo not too far away. They operate exclusively on donations and volunteerism.
Oh, okay.
And so we're not talking about, we're talking some exotic animals, some of them are common,
Yeah.
but still they really need the help. And so why not, Josh and I both love animals.
Yeah.
So why not volunteer for something? He did actually.
Oh,
I
did
didn't
he?
participate. He
Yeah.
went on his own to do
Yeah.
it and he loved it. So we want to go back together
Okay.
as a couple and volunteer there. Walk the highway, pick up trash.
Yeah.
It's a fun little excursion. It really is.
That's a good one there,
Yeah,
D.
it is. It's a bag between the two of you,
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah, I can-
picking up trash. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
People might think you're a criminal.
I'm cheating like crazy. But do we put on our orange jumpsuit?
Well, no, but you should wear something that flags you.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to get hit by a car.
Right, no, you definitely don't
Well,
want
I
to.
say that because where I worked, we had the road that our facility was on every year, I think twice a year actually.
Uh-huh.
We'd start, it was about a 3-mile stretch, I think. We would walk the entire stretch. We'd divide up one down one side, one down the other.
Okay.
We'd pick up all the trash on.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much
Yeah,
nasties on the road.
I think if people take time to, be about their towns, their city, their community, it goes a long way.
It really,
Because,
really does.
a little trash from one person, a lot of trash from it
Yep.
accumulates real big time.
Here's another thing you guys could do is think about volunteering at your local hospital or community health center.
Yeah,
Because we have elderly that need help.
that's
And
true.
they need to get to appointments, and our little ladies need to get their hair done, and they
True.
have things they need to do.
True.
And so you guys could volunteer to escort them to and from their doctor's appointments. You could go read to them at the hospital or in their facility.
That's true.
So there's volunteer opportunities where you can be really great with each
Yeah.
other and have a good time.
Yeah.
Josh and I love to write screenplays, and so we act them out and stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, that might be something fun that we could do
Absolutely.
with our seniors.
Absolutely.
So find something you're passionate about. Volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where
And
you
so
at?
let's see, where are we? So I think I'm done with that part of it.
Okay,
And,
let me read this.
yeah.
What the action of love here. So I'm gonna read this from our content. The action of love refers to a tangible expression of care, kindness, and compassion, demonstrating love through deeds rather than merely words. So it's good to do some action,
Yeah.
right? It encompasses a wide array of behaviors that affirm and support others, often reflecting the deepest values and commitment of the person performing the action.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely have to take time to, instead of speaking the word,
Doing.
but doing it,
Mm-hmm.
engaging in that,
Mm-hmm.
so absolutely.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that much effort to just do some little kind thing for somebody,
Yeah,
and you don't
absolutely.
even have to say anything, but they'll notice that and
Yeah,
go, "That was really neat." I mean, just those little unspoken kindnesses go a
right,
long way, like
absolutely.
you were saying.
Yeah, just saying hi, just saying, hey, I love you, bro. I always like a lot of times I talk to my bros. I'll be like, I love you, bro.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
because you never know what someone is going through. And what was you gonna say?
No, no, no.
What
I
was you
no,
gonna say?
I was kind of along your "I love you,
Uh,
bro." So like
oh,
when I meet someone and they
uh-huh.
extend their hand, I know back in COVID we weren't doing that with a fist
Oh,
bump or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Nowadays people are offering their hand like back in the day.
Oh, okay.
If that happens, I'm all about that. If I
Hmm.
need to wash my hands, I will. Plain
Okay.
and simple. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to refuse somebody's hand.
Right.
I love when somebody offers their hand to me. I'm so glad I
Yeah,
got to
right.
meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
Cup their hand.
Yeah.
Let them know that you genuinely are
Right.
glad to
Yeah,
meet them.
gotcha.
It's just that little extra
Yeah.
something that, we've kind of lost
And
over time.
right, and a lot of people love to do hugs too as well. So that's
Absolutely.
back into play.
Yeah.
Back COVID, it had everybody separated.
Oh, man.
But
big
I'm
time.
glad things are back norm where people like to hug, people like to handshake.
Yeah, yeah.
All those little gestures of human contact
Yeah.
goes a long way.
It really does.
It
We
does.
need that.
Yeah,
And we became
absolutely.
so reclusive over those years. And now
Right.
we're kind of trying to get back out of that and get
Yeah.
back into our norm where it was okay to speak to someone
Right.
and
Yeah.
touch their person. Like, hi, how's it going?
Right, right. Absolutely.
Anyway, so prioritizing by making, oh, were you done?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I got some more, but
Prioritizing by making deliberate choices.
okay.
So, in other words, don't let it just sort of happen. Make an effort for it to happen.
Okay. So give me some clarity on that. What are you saying?
So, as an example, okay, I would really like it if my husband and I did more knitting.
Okay. So
I'm thinking this.
This is something that you like to do.
No, I'm just using an example.
Oh, okay.
I would really like it if my
All right.
husband and we did. We do like to crochet and we do like to make things.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking this to myself, but if I don't verbalize that to him and say, I think it'd be
Right.
fun if we would, you want to knit? Let's get
Right.
our stuff out. And
Yeah,
knit.
yeah.
It's a cold
Right.
day or
Yeah.
whatever. So you have to prioritize and verbalize what you want.
True.
You can't, and if same likewise, so
True.
if you're happy fuzzy, say you're happy fuzzy.
Right, right.
If you're not happy fuzzy, say you're not happy
Right.
fuzzy.
And I don't know, Eva, you don't mind me saying
Go
this.
ahead.
A lot of females, right, in my past or whatever, we can't read your mind. So you have to verbalize what you want, how you feeling,
Yeah.
and because a lot of times like, well, I meant this, but I can't read your mind,
Yeah.
So it's always good to
That goes for men too.
okay.
Yeah, that goes
But
for
it's
men
just
too.
be clear on what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
what you're meaning.
Yeah.
I know with me and my daughter, a lot of times I talk, but I leave words out, and so she has to figure a way to fill in the gap. So, and I know because it's like writing, sometimes I talk as I write, and so I'm leaving words out, but it's still in my mind thinking I wrote it out.
Right.
So it's the same way as verbalizing it. Is like I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm leaving words out, and she's, Dad, come on, what are you trying to say?
Well, but that's that communication piece. Having the comfort, and we talked about this last week. Having the comfort to say, "Whoa, back up! I misunderstood," or can you tell me that again?
Right.
Or clarify what you actually mean. So don't have fear to speak up and say how you feel.
Right.
Just when I told my daughter, when she was growing up, I said, you have the right to say whatever you want to me. You have that prerogative, but you must do it in a respectable manner. You're not allowed to just attack.
Right.
Right? Because I am, after all, a parent.
Right.
But she did have a voice.
Right.
I did want her
right.
to have a
And
voice.
and that's how I raised my daughter, is giving her a sense of independence. And I always say, you know, you have right and wrong, you have choices you have to make.
Yeah.
You have to own it up, you know.
Yeah.
So I try to give her the freedom with love, but also give her my my advice before she can do something.
Right? Yeah.
You know, I've been there. You know, you've been there, done that,
yeah,
right?
That's our JOB.
And
We gotta like, no, I know that's a really big cliff. Don't go there.
Right, absolutely. So let's take a quick. Oh, we don't have her. But anyway, so today's program was brought to you by Impact Water, sponsored by Impact Water LLC. Is a refreshing. My co-host, she's gonna determine again. We usually have it on set, but yeah. So yeah, today's program is brought to you by Impact Water. It's a pure mountain spring water, phenomenal water. You can find it online, impactwaterllc.com. Comes in a 16-ounce aluminum bottle. And so yeah, so we just wanted to tell you all the minerals, the electrolytes, alkaline balance is still in it, you know.
Yeah,
so
this is what I love so much about this water. It hasn't been stripped of those minerals. It's been
Right.
purified in that there's no contaminants, but it's got all those natural electrolytes that we need, magnesium, calcium, sodium, and so forth. So all in that.
Yeah,
and in a completely recyclable, reusable aluminum container.
Absolutely.
Boom. Love it.
Awesome. All right, what you got next?
Okay, well, I think we've already talked about these other things, and so now what can we do to fix some of the things that are going astray in our relationships?
So let me say this one quick point before you jump on that one. At its core, the action of love involves prioritizing the well-being and happiness of others. I like that. So prioritizing. So
take yourself out of yourself.
Take yourself away and see what's going on with them, picture, right? How you feeling? How was work today? All those little suggestions, nuggets to ask questions, because you never know what your loved one is going through. Sometimes they'll tell it. Sometimes you can see it on their body language, right?
Yeah.
But it's good to ask, how was your day? And, you know, how can I help you? Yada, yada. You know what I'm saying?
The I'm fine answer. It's not okay.
Huh?
To just say, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah. Right. You know, I think it's just a natural thing. People just say, I'm fine.
Your spouse doesn't want to complain. You both had a day, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to complain.
But I think if they're asking you, how was your day? And you just say it's fine, but it's not fine. You need to really open up. And sometimes it takes a while for someone to, maybe they're coming home, they just need to decompress.
Sure, yeah.
And then they open up. Right. So you got to know
your
language on that. All right. This can manifest in everyday gestures like listening attentively, offering a helping hand, or spending quality time with the loved ones. It also includes more significant acts such as standing by someone during a crisis, making sacrifices for their benefits, or advocating for their needs and rights.
Yeah.
So,
gotta have your champion. If your spouse or partner is not your champion, or if you can't count on them, that's a horrible feeling.
That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know that whoever you get engaged with or already engaged, that you could count on them, that they'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I love about my buddy, Erica's husband, Thomas, you know, when I was getting ready to get married, and he goes, look, man, I got this card, my what's a diamond store, like give me a,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not into diamonds.
Just
really,
well, I mean,
I don't know that.
like
Oh, Zales. Yeah,
Zelle, right? So he's like, I have a card. You know, if you don't have it, here, use my card. You know, and I was like, that's awesome. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and you know, just different ones that will go out their way
To
to
help or to
show
show that, yeah,
their love, and
yeah.
that was very that touched my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use it, but I appreciate him offering that. You
Yeah.
know, and just different ones like my man Bond. He's like, man, I went to the store. I picked up 2 bottles of water today. You know, those little things is like showing that someone believe in you.
Yeah.
They want the best for you, and reciprocal. You got able to
Yeah.
give back to them too as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, every time you know, it's a give and take, right?
Yeah. In any
You show
relationship, it is.
love, you gotta give love back. You
And
know, it's
just stay
cycle. Yeah,
engaged and just, you got to be outside of yourself.
yeah,
you know
absolutely,
you know now
absolutely.
we did say or I maybe I was anyway, the oxygen mask story. Put your oxygen mask on first before you offer assistance to someone else,
Oh,
right?
the
So
airplane.
you got to
Okay,
be in a good headspace
right,
before you can actually be of service to someone else.
right,
So do your inner work,
right,
but don't let that be a barrier so that you can't, so that you
right.
don't or won't reach out to
True.
someone. So
That's true. So yeah, so you have to be whole in yourself, confident in yourself to give love to someone else,
yep,
right? So
yep,
you can't be at 50% um trying to give love to someone
that's right.
if you're not, so when I went through a divorce, I it took me about 3 or 4 years to really regroup. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm.
Find out who you are, where you're at. Because when you was in your 20s, your mind and your mental is one way.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit your 30s or 40s,
Yeah.
it changed.
Oh, and it's going to
So
change
right.
more and more and more.
So
Yeah.
you always have to like identify who you are,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at in my life right now. Because it's a different picture.
Yeah.
And last week we talked about the 5 love language. So one thing I've learned when you took that test when you was in your 20s, what you want and are needing, the results are different from now that you're in your 30s and 40s and
Right,
50s.
right.
It's different because you're thinking about something. Your way of moving, your grooving, your vibes, all different now.
Change.
Change,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you took the test when you were in your 20s, take it again. So go to Google and find 5 love language. Take that test. Absolutely. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great. It's
Yeah.
it's a good starting point for conversation, if
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. So what's the point? What was you gonna
Oh,
say now?
so after people have been together a while, sometimes there's fading enthusiasm.
Okay.
You become sort of complacent. Oh, hi, honey, how you doing? Da da da, and you go about your day.
Right.
It happens. You
Right.
become comfortable with each other. I guess the message that I would take away or offer is this, and that is, just because you're comfortable with someone, is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
What we're talking about here is when you no longer have any conversations of value. You don't really share anything together. You just sort of coexist.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. The fading
So
enthusiasm.
okay. So it's like like someone walking the door. Hey, babe, what's up? What's up?
Yeah.
So just be excited for your partner.
Yeah.
Right. If you cross paths with your partner, be excited. Show them that you're engaging. You're excited to know more about how their day went.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
That,
I mean,
that's
it's
good.
real easy to fall into your day, and if it was not a great day, to come home and bring that luggage with you. But
Right.
if you could leave it parked at the door,
Right.
walk in and greet your loved one with a smile. You don't have to be fake about it.
Right.
You still had the day, right?
Right.
But just, you hopefully are glad to see them. They're your respite. They're the place that's gonna provide that comfort and love that you were lacking while you were at work.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's where, you could spice it up even more. Come home, like you said, have roses ready for them or
Yeah.
candles or all that little stuff. All that goes a long way
yeah, just a thoughtful and
in your relationship for the longevity, right?
Yeah.
Be excited for your loved one,
Uh-huh.
and because it's easy to get complacent, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you don't want to be complacent
yeah.
in your relationship.
Here's a good example.
Okay,
So
talk to
like
me.
Joshua's at the store. He does most of our grocery shopping.
Oh, he does the grocery store?
Because I hate it.
Oh my
I'd rather
gosh.
scrub a toilet. Anyway, so he was off doing the grocery shopping, and he came home with an item that I had forgotten to get that I really like.
Yeah.
And he bought it for me. It wasn't on the list.
Uh-huh.
And he came in, and I saw it on the counter. Oh, and he goes, "Yeah, I remembered you wanted that." And so I saw it, and I got it. Not a big deal.
I see what you're saying.
But you know what I mean? It was kind of, I thought it was a sweet gesture.
Yeah.
And he had me on his mind, even though he had a list and it wasn't on the list.
Oh, okay. So he went above and beyond to find that little thing that you like,
Yeah.
and bought it and brought it home to you. And the little thing is what counts.
Yeah,
the little things count.
You know,
I would love to hear, hey, babe, I got a Mercedes wrapped in a bow out there. But if we could get the little things, and she likes a certain flowers that I get her every now and then. Yeah. So just the little things counts just as well.
Yeah, butterscotch roll of Lifesavers.
I'm a Snicker bar. I like a Snicker bar. Yeah, and so that's great. Yeah. That's a good one.
Fading enthusiasm can just be fixed really easily. Just by staying engaged.
Engaged.
Like that. Long work hours and
if you guys just joined in, we're talking about actions of love, right? Mm-hmm. And last week we talked about love. You can find those episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Yep. But YouTube is our main platform that we are engaging with. So we'll be doing some live
feeds.
Impact
Water sponsors our show.
Impact Water sponsors
the show.
So
that's where you'll find
and
us.
Another thing, guys, who just jumped on here.
Oh yeah.
We also now have the Chris and Bec show coffee cups.
Isn't that cool?
And that also could be found on our website, Impact WATER LLC. And it's going to come with a signature from both of us, each cup going out. 10% will be donated to a nonprofit organization. I think, which one did you have first?
Well, I thought St. Jude would be.
St. Jude. All right. So St. Jude would be our first one that we're going to donate to. Yeah. And so
if you don't know about St. Jude's Children's Hospital, they are completely nonprofit. Every penny that's donated goes towards the families that to not only to take care of their sick child, but also to make sure that the parents can be close by. They put them up with housing, feed them.
Nice.
And stuff like that. So,
nice.
The last thing we want to deal with when one of our babies is sick is not being able to be there with them when they're sick.
That's true.
St. Jude's takes care of the whole thing. Not one penny is passed on to those patients and their family.
That's awesome.
So it's a really good cause.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I think. But if you have one that's...
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but there's others out there. Yeah. So we're all about giving back. And so we want to hear what your thoughts are on that as well. That's just our starting point. So
all right.
We can pick up.
So what else? What you got?
All right. So the next one is lack of personal time and space.
Okay. Hey.
Sometimes when we're a couple,
what are you talking about?
Well, sometimes if you're joined at the hip, like mine and we are, my husband and I, we're joined at the hip. We have so much in common that what he does, I do, and da-da-da. But, sometimes it's healthy to just take a break.
Okay.
And do something that's just for you.
So I think I like that because it's good to have your own identity, stuff that you like to do, like you want to do on your own. So it's good to have a corporate of you both together doing stuff, but it's also good that you both have an independent way of doing things on your own too as well, so and then just coming back together.
Yeah, Fabian. Hey Fabian, how's it going?
Hey Fabian.
Welcome.
And Keith, what's up, my man?
Yeah, it's so good to have you guys here.
So I think that's a good.
So having your own personal space is really good, even if that just means holding up in your room and reading for a little while. Yeah. Sometimes we need a little space.
Right.
So just don't be offended if your partner asks for that.
Right.
If they ask for that, it's because they need it.
Right. And a lot of times, so in your personal space is not to say, hey, don't talk to me. I'm doing this first. Don't do the attitude thing.
Right.
But communicate, because a lot of times either my wife, she'll text me and say, hey, I'm going to the gym. Or I text her, I'm going to the gym. Or we both meet, hey, where you at? Can we meet up and do the gym thing? So personal space is good, but just have that communication piece to let each other know, what you about to do.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
so important. And because you don't want your partner to feel like you're disenchanted or you're cutting them off.
Right,
In fact, quite the opposite. You're just simply saying, I need to regroup my brain a little bit, refocus, get some inner energy back where it
right,
should be. And then when I come back out to the world
right,
after 15, 20 minutes,
right.
I'm all good to go. So,
All right,
yep.
awesome.
Yep, personal time and space.
Yeah,
Now, other relationship issues, I'm just going to go over them, but maybe not necessarily talk about them. One of them is character issues. We won't go into that. That's up to you guys to sort out if your partner has character issues. Clinginess, again, that's something that's going to take a deeper dive than what we're going to offer here today.
okay.
Intimacy. So often when we've been with someone for a really long time, and then we get the kids in the picture.
Yeah,
That sort of falls off to the radar a little bit.
okay.
The frequency, whatever. And so it goes back to that date night. It goes
Hmm.
back to making time for each other, and intimacy is a big component of
Yeah,
that.
intimacy is a very
So
big
yeah,
component. I agree with
it's the way that nature shows that you're really, really
you.
connected.
Connected. Gotcha.
So, infidelity and abuse, again, we won't touch on that one. Children. So, children are a blessing. We know that.
Yeah.
We love our kids. We don't want them to go away, but sometimes we need a break.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
need a
just like
break.
Chris said earlier, when they do their date night, they make it very specific and about him and his wife.
Mhm.
And that's how most couples do, I think, when they're
Mhm.
planning this date
Yeah,
night. Josh, I
yeah.
don't have any kids. Mine's all grown up.
Right,
But when we do a date night, though, it's all about us.
right.
There's no TV. There's no phones. So we make it all about
That's
us.
good. Hmm.
So with you guys and still having children,
Yeah.
taking that time away, be it you're in a whole nother room,
Yeah.
you leave the premises,
Right.
whatever the case may
Right.
be a couple and go do some fun stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. So children, we love you, but sometimes we need a break.
Right. So let me interject before you do
Yep.
that last one there.
Yep.
Importantly, we're talking about action of love. Importantly, the action of love is not limited to romantic relationships. It is a present in family bond, friendship, and even interaction with strangers. For instance, volunteering, as we talked about earlier, at a community center, offering words of encouragement to a colleague. So it's good to say, hey, you did a good job in the presentation. You did a good job, whatever field you're in. Always give,
Positive
praises. Yeah,
affirmation, yeah.
positive affirmation.
Yep.
Showing empathy, patient in challenging situation, all qualify as action rooted in love.
Right.
So yeah,
Don't be quick to judge.
yeah.
You don't know what's happening. If somebody seems a little off for the day,
Hmm.
and then we're maybe a little bit off for the day, and the next
Right.
thing you know, just
Yeah.
step back.
Right.
Step back, breathe, think about that. You don't know what's going on in their world. And this could be your workmate, it could be your partner, it could be the person at the grocery store, wherever.
Right.
You don't know what's going on in their world.
True.
Instead of feeling like you got to arm your weapons and just,
Right.
step back, take a breath, understand there's something cooking that you don't know about,
True.
and just breathe through it.
True.
We don't need to act on every little action.
No, we don't.
Nope.
Because I'm a firm believer is there's two sides to every story. So gather the information first
Mhm.
before you just quick to make assessment on somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We see these kinds of things on Instagram all the time, and some of them are kind of hokey, but
Yeah.
some of them really resonate.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just try to walk in someone else's shoes just for a minute.
Right.
You just don't know what's cooking in
What
their
they're
world.
going. Yeah. Absolutely.
So then we have social circle issues. So that's having more to do with your grouping of people and my grouping of people.
Mhm.
We don't really jive, or my philosophies are different than your philosophies.
Mhm. And
So,
that's-
sometimes that can cause a parting
yeah,
of the water.
Right. Because you're saying social social circle issues,
Yeah.
meaning like what you talked about earlier. You're a scientist. Is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
And then your
My
ex
ex-husband,
was
he
into
was journalist.
journalists, so he could relate to journalists talking.
Mhm.
You could relate to science talking.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to put the friends together, it is a whole different.
Kind of like
Yeah.
oil and water.
You're right. So I think to able to solve a lot of that problem, and you guys might have that same issue, is to find a common mutual thing that everybody likes to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now people like to do frisbee
Frisbee
throwing,
golf? Yeah.
and then putt golf or top golf. So find something that your main focus is on activity,
Yeah.
so it won't be awkward. And
Right.
so that I think that'd
Exactly.
be
Yep.
a
Just
good,
bridge the gap.
yeah, bridge the
And
gap.
be willing to make some adjustments,
Absolutely.
so that you can bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Don't make them carry the burden.
Right.
You got to reach that together. Like Josh and I, I met him when he was a construction worker. He was a steel worker.
Okay.
I was in the science. I was in the laboratory. Seemed like an odd mix.
Yeah.
Oddly, we worked out really great.
That's
Does
good.
that mean he cannot understand what I'm talking about and I cannot understand what he's talking about? Not at all. As a matter of fact, he's very bright in science, and I actually have an aptitude for mechanical engineering. So, consequently, we actually had a lot of core interests together.
Right.
So, but be willing to try to fix your language so that you're kind of talking the same language, so that you do understand each other, and just be a little.
Oh yeah, because when you was talking about the molecules and science stuff earlier, or in our earlier episodes, my eyebrows went up like, what? Yeah. So, but that to me, learning and gaining knowledge, to me, I love to do that. I love, because I'm a people person.
Yeah.
So I love to engage what people are talking about, and they're different. I remember one time I met this, she worked for NASA, and her intellect of talking was
off the chart.
It was like off the chart. I was like, whoa, my eyebrows went. What did you just say? Repeat that. And so it's good to get around people that could bring different things mixed to the table, and constantly learning and engaging with
instead
people.
Of going, I don't know anything about
Right.
that. That's
So
not
just
what I do.
right, be open-minded to learn. If you little bits and pieces you pick up, and now it's deep in your brain. You can learn. You can relate to someone else who start talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But always keep your partner somewhat tethered. Meaning that emotionally you still keep them tethered and close. Yeah. While your interests might be a little bit different, you do have those commonalities. Just as your roads continue down, just make sure you stay close to each other, and tethered to each other, because if you drift too far apart, your tether will break.
Yeah. So always keep them alert to what you're about to do, what's your goal, just keep
let them know that you're still plugged into their world, and hopefully they're doing the same for you, because it's that mutual thing, right?
Absolutely.
So social circle issues, there's that. So not being monogamous, well, that's kind of obvious.
Right.
I'm only going to take the one partner. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Behavioral issues. Well, again, if your partner has issues, that's a deeper dive than what we're going to approach here. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about things that you can actually fix.
Right.
That we know what you can do to fix.
Right.
The action of fixing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
The bottom line is just stay plugged in.
Stay plugged in. Yeah. Stay communicate. All that. I think I got one last point here.
Good.
Ultimately, the action of love transcends mere sentiment. It transforms abstract feeling into concrete realities, fostering connection, trust, and mutual respect, right? So along with love, you got to have the trust, you got to have mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, it's that foundation.
Yeah. Through consistency, love action, individuals not only enrich the life of others, but also contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world. So the more we engage with others, with people or a partner, the more the world should shape more into love, not hate, not bitter, not pointing fingers, not judging. Just take time out to love on your neighbor, love somebody. We talked about loving your neighbor on our last episode. Just, give a helping hand. It's. I remember when I had a house, I don't like cutting grass, you know. I don't, you
Yeah,
know.
my
I
husband
just
doesn't
don't.
either.
But my neighbor, he'll come over and he'll cut the grass. So
Wow,
just
that's
out
neat.
of, you know, so
Yeah,
just helping hand, it'll make the world better, you
right,
know. If each
right.
one, when my pastor, he talked about each one reach one, and he goes, each one reach one, and something. I can't, you know, it make
Well,
the
it's kind of,
whole pot
well, it's
work.
like what we were talking about last week, that ripple effect.
Yeah,
So think of yourself as a rock getting chunked into the lake.
right.
Smooth, clear as glass lake.
Yeah,
Think what happens. Ripple, ripple, ripple,
ripple
ripple,
effect.
ripple,
Right.
ripple. This is what kindness does.
Yeah,
And this is what love in your heart does. It
yeah,
causes a ripple effect. So does hate.
yeah.
The sad thing is hate is much stronger and it will make a more lasting impression. So
Well,
we are
I
always,
don't know.
well,
I think hate is more temporary.
okay,
Love is more of a long term.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But like, well, let's say someone that's got just been mean or bad attitude or
Okay.
whatever. Okay, so I go into a store, the person's not nice to me. I come home and I tell my husband, I tell my friends, oh, I was at da da da, this happened, la la la.
Hmm.
It's tenfold. It's like negative advertising.
Right. That's true.
And so for practicing love and going out, unfortunately, it doesn't spread quite as rapidly as the negative.
Yeah. Okay.
So we need to be cognizant of that.
Right.
And
Oh
know,
well, yeah. Just like the news, they're quick to 99% of the time. Oh, this one did this to the always negative
yeah,
more positive.
yeah.
Right.
We're always battling that
right.
negativity
So
that's out
yeah.
there. But
So
it's
like yeah. So a good platform be all your social media is to prompt for love, positive
yeah,
notes out there that when
yeah.
someone reads it, then they, you know, it's a
Hopefully
positive.
enlightens their day.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
if it's just a funny,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Let's just bond with negativity all the time. So if we come to
Absolutely.
the table with love in our heart and we go out to do our business for the day and go to
Right.
work and whatnot,
Yeah,
can't help but spread it. So
yeah, absolutely.
there you go.
Well, Beck, I tell you, we had a great time today.
We really, really
You-
did.
yeah.
I so appreciate everybody that popped in today. Good morning, Larry and Eric. Today.
Yeah. So, welcome. Thanks again for watching with us today. We do the Chris and Beck Show every Tuesday, Mountain Standard Time, at 10 o'clock a.m.
Uh-huh.
So we talk about different subject matters,
Yep.
right?
This last
And
2 weeks was on love.
the last 2 weeks is on love, and no, uh,
What should we do?
I don't know. You're currently you can't finish because okay,
There we go. We're back.
Sorry guys, we
Flipped out for a second.
yeah, we flipped out for it. So let's end this. So yeah, Chris and Beck Show every Tuesday.
Sponsored by Impact Water.
Sponsored by Impact Water. Sponsored by Impact Water. And also, you could go onto their website and get our new coffee cups on impactwaterllc.com. Look for us next week, and it's gonna be a deep topic
This is
about
a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And what's that word? What we call it again? I mean, no. What is the topic for next week?
Oh, so next week what we want to talk about is how is our water actually cleaned and processed and
Right.
delivered back to our homes.
Exactly. So, but it was called something though. But anyway, that we're going to talk about water next week from the cleaning the
When it goes to the treatment plant.
treatment plant back to our home. What does that look like?
Yeah.
So that is what we're going to talk about next week.
Because he told me early on when we first started doing the show, he said when the water leaves your house, it takes 3 days to go through the da-da-da and back into your
Right.
drinking fountain. And I was
Yeah.
like, excuse me? What?
Yeah. So,
so
we're going to go deep into
gonna look
that
into that.
conversation next week. Look for us next Tuesday, Mountain Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, you're about 2 hours ahead. If you're on the West Coast, you are an hour behind. So thank you guys again for
Really appreciate
watching
you.
with us. And
Next week, water purification.
yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
So, all right.
Cheers
Thank you.
all. Have a great
Bye.
day.
All right now.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.